GoldenRatioProducts.com for the next phase of your water consciousness.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez. Good to have you with us. On today's show, we're going to be talking a little bit later to a festival, what I will call a man who knows his stuff. He's actually known for the many years he's done the Holly Shorts Film Festival. We're going to be talking about a festival coming up this week and some of the great stuff that are taking place this week that you could check out in Hollywood. And I'm super excited to talk to him a little around the corner. Daniel Soul will be with us in about 30. So stay with us on that. We'll be talking about the world of film, what it means for business, what it means for, honestly, actors, writers, producers, and of course us, the viewer, who says, hey, how come no good films are out? Although I know some good films are coming out in May that I'm already looking forward to. Top Gun Maverick is what I'm looking forward to. That's been delayed for a couple of years. Thank God it's finally coming out. I saw a trailer that, I kid you not, I was like, whoa, okay, this is really, really neat because he actually takes his actors into the air to prepare them. You know how they do like fight scenes ahead of time? We got Jesse Sanchez over there. Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning. Yeah, what do you mean fight scenes? In the plane?
Well, no. You know how they usually do like choreography and training? Like, okay, for example, who knew Keanu could do some major moves, but he had to learn those moves to get prepared for Matrix, right? Did you ever see the making of that?
I have not seen the making of that.
That's one of those that if you ever want to get like in the mood to watch Matrix, watch the 2-hour. All right, that was on the DVD. I don't know if you can like get it online somewhere, but it was a 2-hour. Rarely are behind the scenes ever 2-hour, but even like the bullet scene and how they slowed it down, all of that, like they pioneered that technology to get that. I mean, one idea, I'll never forget it, is that they were like, hey, why don't you just strap a camera to a rocket to make it go really quick so you could slow down the video so you could see them. You remember when she like jumps up and then it does wah, 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 and then it goes around her like that, and then it started being used like a commercial photography and all sorts of other things, and some people know how they do it because they put up a bunch of cameras. Well, it took them kind of like watching anime, which Jesse loves, and saying, okay, how do we get this style? And that's why it worked for the movie, especially when they go on the walls and they slow it down and then they go like, everywhere. If you look at certain anime flicks, which you can find on Netflix, I know your kids probably know them. Some of them are very adult, look for the MA. Some of them are like TV-14, others are like, more normal. Pokemon's normal, that's like G-rated, right? Or they call it Y7, I think. But like other ones are a little bit more advanced than that. But the technology is important because it's like, okay, what do the pioneer next, right? So anyway, the Maverick movie is one where if you look up the trailer. I know you'll see it because they're promoting it a lot. Because some people think, oh, maybe they just green screened it. They didn't green screen it. So imagine you, Jesse, being set up for one of the pilots. And he says, all right, we need to get you prepared for what it's like to be in the air because we're going to do shots of you in the air. Not meaning that you're going to be necessarily flying it. It might be like a 2-person seat, but we're going to have a camera all the way on and you're going to act like you're flying it. We're not going to do green screen, which is easy to do, but you don't feel the exertion of force on you, right? I mean, they pull at least 8 Gs. And that on your body, is like extreme. So he prepared them ahead of time before the movie, and they're like, dude, we feel what it feels like to be like a fighter. And so he did barrel rolls, he did all those things, and that will do something. If you like roller coasters, take your worst roller coaster time it by like a good half hour, anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes, and multiply that by like 1,000,000, all right? And then you'll understand, like, when you want it to end, it doesn't end. All right, so you got to get past that. So I don't know if he slow rolled them or he just put them into it and then they just did it. And then I'm sure they got the exhilaration of it all, but they didn't go out there to fight. They just went up there to fly. So I don't know how much money he paid for them to do that, but they did it off of the carrier eventually. So that right there is like for a lot of actors a dream come true, right? So I think that was good. It's great that Tom did that for himself and his crew, so that they could kind of participate and get the real feel of Maverick Top Gun. So that one's coming out later in May. That's why I'm so excited to see it. It's going to be exciting. And it was supposed to come out, I think, in 2020, but coronavirus set it way back. That was like, remember when Wonder Woman kept getting pushed back, and then finally it came out, and then it was like, whatever. This one I don't think is a whatever one. I think it's going to be exciting. I think it's, honestly, and I hate to say this, but because people are thinking war, it's kind of like in the time of war, and people kind of go, whoa, this could really happen. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Is Val Kilmer in there? No, I think he retired from acting.
I don't know. They nod to him, and I think he may have a moment, but I'm not sure. I don't know if they go back in time. I don't know if they kind of like, have him pick up from something, or maybe he makes a call and he's there. I don't really know. All I know is the new guns, right, that he's training as a trainer kind of come in, and he kind of shows them a thing or two. So now if anybody watched Top Gun, they remember he being kind of the new gun, right? Kind of like haughty and kind of like whatever. But they never had a trainer like him. So he's the guy that kind of gets things done. So it's kind of like what happened between Top Gun 1 and Top Gun 2, right? Like, I would want that story. What happened in between? What fights did he pursue? What comes out in this movie? So I think it's a nod to the first one, obviously. But I'm excited to see it. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. The reason I say that is there's good things coming up in May. And then I'm not sure around the corner, except, obviously, Doctor Strange. You're looking forward to that one, right, Jesse?
No, not at all. Yes, I am. I already bought my tickets.
Wait a minute. To what theater, Jesse?
No, I'm just playing. I can't buy it. You know they charge like $4 or $5 ahead of time if you buy them.
Oh, did they really? Oh, I was going to say, that's awesome. So I was going to ask you, were you going to watch it in IMAX, or you going to watch it at a special theater? Because I would watch it if I had my choice. One of two places, okay? I'm thinking of now maybe more. One, Irvine Spectrum, okay? Because they have a pretty good area, and they got a lot of eateries, so go with a friend. Or two, well, I was going to pick that one, but I don't know. Any IMAX one, right? Yeah. And I'd probably do, I don't really know. Well, which one came to your head? Go with that, and then you can have fun doing that. But anywhere where they have like a lot of stuff at, right? And definitely IMAX. I would pay for the extra. I don't know if it's in 3D. I haven't seen any movies in 3D lately. Have you?
I have not seen a movie in 3D in so long. I think the last movie was an Avengers movie, so it's been a while.
Yeah, I've noticed there have been no 3D movies, actually, now that I think about it. It hasn't been for a good while. I know when I had the option, but maybe I haven't selected the option. Maybe that's it. All right. Anyway, let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know what you're thinking. Stephanie Reed tuning in on social media says, hello, happy editing, cooking videos, and onset of 2 commercials for this glorious sunshine, awesomeness, busy day ahead. Stella Faith says, hello, thank you for tuning in. All right, we got people sharing, share abroad, share on Facebook, share on Twitter, share on LinkedIn. We appreciate you guys on LinkedIn. We've been seeing a lot of ads and a lot of viewers there, so we appreciate that. And also, don't forget to download our app. It's free. KMET 1490 AM. And if you have Alexa, we're already there for you. So anybody that has Alexa, just remember, put this in your head. I want to listen to KMET 1490 AM. Or I don't know if you can say KMET. I don't know if it recognizes it. And then it'll bring up the TuneIn app. Or I think there's another app for it. I don't know which one it is. And then you get to listen to us. I don't like the TuneIn app, to be honest, because if you have the TuneIn app, then you know all the other ones that you can listen to. But that's the story. I'm sticking to it. So download our app. It's free, and you go directly to us. And we have great programming all throughout the day. In fact, let's see, in the next week, I think we have several very big well, I know Jesse knows them better than me, because he does the work all day long, huh, Jesse?
Oh, yes, I know so many, and then I'd end up forgetting because so much stuff happens here.
Yeah, so Jesse gets smart along the way. I'm sure there's some that actually make you smart, right, Jesse?
Yeah, and then some just take it right away.
That's called fun. So there you go. All right, no, I agree. Sandra Santiago, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. All right, let's get to the news. Jesse, I know you have a story you've been waiting on, and it has to do with something that someone did in a vehicle. Is that right?
Okay, so, oh my god, it seems more and more prevalent. No, I talked about this story a few months back. It was about a 17-year-old kid who was driving a Lamborghini SUV and smashed into this lady that was driving and killed her. So Yeah, so apparently they reached a settlement, $18.8 million.
Whoa.
And yeah, you didn't hear about that?
No.
In October, Brendan Curry, when he was 17, was driving a Lamborghini and was sentenced to 9 months of what was described as a rigorous juvenile camp. I doubt it. In addition to 4 years of probation, he had previously admitted to felony vehicular manslaughter. He should never drive a car again.
Yeah, I agree with that actually.
I was like, no amount of money can replace this mother. So it's just really sad because you know what? When you're rich, you can just throw money away and everything will go away.
Yeah, this is one of those where when you like see how young and youthful she was, and you're like, I mean, I know I have a lot of social media friends that kind of remind me of this girl, and you're like, okay, she did not do anything to deserve that, and then you go, could she have been, if you're like a mother, could that have been your daughter? Here she is on our streaming live video feed, and you see her, and you say, what's going on with this? That's why I say there are certain vehicles, and I guess that's her vehicle because it's definitely not the Lamborghini. You wouldn't even know the Lamborghini was involved in that photo. But when you see a deploy of bags, that's not good. I don't know what happened along the way. I don't know who this kid is. I really don't know the full story, Jesse. But all I know is this young lady had to experience the worst thing, right? And evidently, she 32. This was in West LA, right, Jesse?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, and then him a teenager. Yeah, and she had the sedan, so she was struck by his speeding Lamborghini. And I've seen Lamborghinis do this, where they kind of like they think they're Batman, but they're not. You know what I mean? A little too much power for a young one, or even an older one. Anybody that speeds in one of these, I always go, take lessons, and even then, don't put other people in harm's way, right? But his name, Brendan Curry, at the time he was 17, which was in February, right? Was sentenced to 9 months. Wow, 9 months of what was described as a rigorous juvenile camp in addition to 4 years of probation. He had previously admitted to felony vehicular manslaughter in the case. Okay, I get that. It's not like he set out to do that, right? On Wednesday, lawyers for him, for her, announced that what they call one of the largest settlements in California history for a single plaintiff in a wrongful death case. Attorney said in a statement, today is a significant milestone because the Munoz family can finally get some closure for this horrific tragedy. The family faced numerous hurdles from both private insurance companies and the LA District Attorney's Office and experienced the harsh realities of racism and bias against those from underserved communities. Oh, interesting. Today's settlement is a testament to their efforts to step closer to justice. The teen's father, James Curry, has apologized to Munoz's family on social media. He says, my support in any way you will allow me to. Okay, that's hard. That's why I say parents, be ahead of it, man. Teach your kids the right way to at least be. You know what I mean? Because as a father of someone that has a son that did this to a whole other family, and a youthful lady who had her whole life in front of her. It kind of makes you go. What? Go ahead, Jesse.
I blame the dad just as much as the son. He's the one who bought that high performance car for his inexperienced son.
I get it. Like he kind of gave him just whatever he wanted.
Yeah, that's just like giving a kid a gun. I mean,
Yeah.
It's almost just as bad because they think they're the king of the world, and then he can just swerve in and out of traffic.
Yeah. It says he had been stopped by Beverly Hills police. Oh, so he had a flagrant disregard for authority. Got it, because that happened in 2020 of October and November of 2020. With body-worn video from the two stops indicating that he was cited first for driving 72 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour zone. Got it. He was those guys. And then cited for making an unsafe start by accelerating very fast with that officer deciding to impound the vehicle. Oh, so he had it impounded. Oh, so it was like a repeat offender and then kept getting out each and every time. Got it.
Yep. That's why I said the rich can do whatever they
Oh,
want.
and you're right. And he was supposed to be driving at least with somebody with 25 under the rules of a learner's permit. What? He had a learner's permit. He didn't even have a license?
No, that's what gets me mad because the dad just literally threw money and just took care of it.
Right.
Where if it was a regular person, he'd be in jail for life.
I get that. I see it. Yeah, it says the parents were aware he had received 2 citations from Beverly Hills Police in 2020, including one in which the vehicle was impounded and returned to the teen. Yep. Okay. I get that now, and I get where you're going with that, Jesse. They kind of have a share of the blame. I get that. Oh, man. Well, this is why I say be careful when you drive and be careful of other people and just look both ways. All right, people? Ugh, horrible. We have to take a break. We'll pay the bills. We'll be right back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Don't let insurance companies make decisions for you. Go to Pass Auto Center in Banning, your one-stop repair facility with full collision repair, auto maintenance, service, and an authorized smog center. You'll also find a full-service used car lot to fit every budget with the right vehicle for you. Trade-ins are accepted and they pay cash for your car. Pass Auto Center at 2609 West Ramsey in Banning, just off the I-10 freeway between Sunset and 22nd. Call 951-849-7878.
Mattress Brothers Overstock Mattress Sale. Just $3.99 for a foam encased queen pillow top set. $3.99. Check out Mattress Brothers $3.99 Overstock Sale. Mattress Brothers at 120 West Redlands Boulevard in Redlands. The $3.99 Overstock Sale is on now. $3.99 for a foam encased queen pillow top set. Mattress Brothers also has locations in Hemet, Riverside, and Palm Desert. The $3.99 queen pillow top sale on now.
Ruth didn't know she was leaving for good. She knew he would kill her. Could she save herself? Did she feel she was worth saving? How could she best protect her children? To love, honor, and betray, Ruth Tunnicliffe shares her true tale. From submissive to survivor, then thriver. Now living a proud, purposeful life. As an optimistic, inspiring, peaceful warrior. Can a person heal from feeling the guilt of a decision altering many lives? Weighted by living grief, moving through lessons learned, self-discovery, and land in self-love? Can someone who's been abused in every way move to self-trust, confidence, and arrive at living in peace? To love, honor, and betray. A sincere, honest letter. To herself and her adult children, Ruth Tunnicliffe shares her story so that others may also find the inspiring, peaceful warrior within. Amazon worldwide, Barnes & Noble, RuthTunnicliffe.com.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. We appreciate each and every one of you for spending time with us. We got lots of stuff to talk about. I know Jesse's getting ready for some of the information coming up around the corner. Flu strain. What is it? What's going on there? I know you heard some stuff. What can you share with us about what you know, Jesse?
I got this tweet from KTLA. It says China reports first human infected with H3. Oh, my bad. I got the number wrong. It's H3N8 bird flu strain.
Got it. Okay, well, I actually want to talk about this because I'm not going to lie. My mom was talking about a family friend that I've known ever since I was a kid, right? And so it's H3N8 is what you said?
Yes.
All right. It's known as the influenza A virus subtype H3N8. China's reporting the first human case of H3N8. This is pretty recent. And the reason I say I want to talk about this is, well, you share what you know, Jesse. Go ahead and share the link that you have, and then I'll kind of speak from there.
This comes out of KTLA. It says Chinese officials have reported the first human infected with the H3N8 bird flu strain virus, which had been detected in horses, dogs, and even seals. In a statement on Tuesday, China's National Health Commission said the flu variant was found in a 4-year-old live. Why does it keep happening in China? I'm just asking these questions.
Well, can I be honest with you?
Yeah, go ahead. Every time I hear of like a deadly virus, it's always China or some other country.
Well, China's been kind of one of those ever since 2008. If you look at Netflix, I've recommended before. It's I can't remember the name of it. I'm not gonna lie. But it's under pandemic. Okay, and it came out prior. I think in 2018, prior to the coronavirus pandemic. Some would say, well, it was like they were predicting what was going to happen, but it was always ready to happen. There's other documentaries that if you look at the release date, they released before 2020. Okay, so it's not like a conspiracy theory. It's something we've had to deal with honestly since 20. Oh wait. Okay, and the avian flu is one among three. You have the swine flu, and then you have Ebola. Okay, all those were notified to authorities in 2008, then 2009, 2010, and 2011. Okay, so a lot of the news here wasn't much about that, but you remember hearing all of a sudden swine flu, avian flu, or aviary flu, and then Ebola, right? They tend to originate in China due to the poultry, then due to the pig, then due to all sorts of other things that we know nothing about, but often is kind of touted of what is the research facilities doing there and why are they researching viruses, right? That's the question of conspiracy theorists that kind of go, wait, what's going on? And I would say at least this. Whenever things originate in China, you have to pay attention because the question is, why do they go all over the world, right? So the reason I say that is avian flu has been here on the East Coast. We reported that I think about 3 to 4 weeks ago and said be careful. That's why certain prices of poultry are going up because of the avian flu. And they've had to actually kind of put down a bunch of others because they don't want people to get it. And it spreads through to other birds. It could spread to other flocks. It could spread to... Do you ever remember seeing a bunch of birds dead on the street?
No, except from that one article, remember? I think it was a few months back.
Yeah, the one that they just all dropped out of nowhere, and then yeah, I've seen birds. I remember when I was in Temple City around even earlier than that. I remember people, and they were testing for it, and they were like, "Don't go near a bird. You know, we want to get our what do they call it? The dog catcher or the Humane Society, right? Or whoever deals with that. They come out, they scoop it up, and then they put it away. But they usually need to test it. So the reason I say that, back to this flu, and you know what? Go ahead and finish what you're going to say about the flu, Jesse.
No. I would actually like to get at least I would like to know like what's coming. At least would give me some knowledge on what just to do. I mean, personally, I like wearing a face mask when it's windy because it protects me from the allergies. Or
Yeah.
The dander, whatever it's flying around.
Yeah, you're right. This one's a little bit different, though. I think it could be even hanging around a bird like this. That's the problem with this particular one. Now, did it end up fatal or not? I don't know what it was determined to be in the 4-year-old child living in the Henan province of China, right? The health agency said the child started to develop fever and other symptoms on April 5th and was admitted to a local facility 5 days later due to the severity of the condition. They lived on a farm. Yep, there it is. Where he frequently came into contact with chickens. Yep, there it is. Okay, this is called. People don't understand it, but you could give your pet coronavirus, right? They've already determined that it can go from human to animal. But the problem is when it mutates. It mutates from animal to human, and then you have a problem. Okay, bats are a perfect example. That's why everybody was like blaming the lady who was eating the bat, and it was like, did we get coronavirus from that? Which technically could happen. Not sure it did happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I really wish you didn't mention the whole eating the bat thing. I try to get that stricken out of my memory.
Yeah.
But you brought it back.
I know, you're welcome. So that was one that I was like, I don't think so. But then I'm like, just the fact that she was eating it, I'm like, no, it had to be fake because like, what's his name, the singer who does those things? He's like, dude, they were fake. They weren't even real bats.
Osborne?
Yeah, Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah, or what was it, pigeons or birds or something?
I heard the first one was real.
Yeah, again, I don't get it. Again, avian flu. So that's all I got to say. Poor bird, you know what I mean? I don't get people. Anyway, we got to take a break. We'll be back right after these messages. Stay tuned to more. We'll be right back.
Staff and families at Custom Care Solutions caregivers take this time out to recognize and salute the Palm Desert men and women in uniform. Political and economic freedoms around the world. Let's always remember them in our thoughts and prayers. Their efforts abroad and our support have kept America strong. That message was courtesy of your good friends at Custom Care Solutions Caregivers, 42201 Beacon Hill in Palm Desert. They're always working to keep our community moving in a positive direction.
Does shame, guilt, and martyrdom play a part in holding ourselves back from self-love, self-confidence, self-empowerment? Ambika Waters is back. With over 3 million books sold, she offers her 28th, Releasing Shame, Guilt, and Martyrdom. Her body of work includes training programs held in Europe and North America, where she connects her participants to the realms of angels, the importance of chakras, the healing power of color and sound. Ambika Waters, the journey that she has been on, the renowned teacher, artist, and healer, has brought a lifetime of experience to her newest book, Releasing Shame, Guilt, and Martyrdom. How to reframe the past, release your future. The guide to expanding our capacity for unlimited goodness. AmbikaWaters.com. Amazon.com. Love, love, love.
Are you paying rent because you think you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you renting because you don't believe that you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? The Siegel Lending Team at RonIsMyLender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com, license under NMLS 217037. RonIsMyLender.com.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. We got Jesse Sanchez over there, and we got our next guest, which is ready to go here with us. He's got a production like none other, and it is one that actually promotes a lot of good film. Joining us right now is Daniel Soul, who happens to do a lot of things behind the scenes and in front of the scenes. Daniel, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for joining us. This weekend, what can we look forward to? And I know it starts pretty soon.
Yeah. So today's our first day. It's our opening filmmaker party, and it's the Hollywood Comedy Shorts Film Festival. It's our 7th year, but we're 6th annual because last year with COVID issues, we had to sort of push back to do it in person. We wanted to get back to being in person, so now we're back this weekend in person at the TCL Chinese Theater in Hollywood, back with some amazing comedy shorts. So we're excited to be back for essentially our 6th annual, our 6th edition of the Hollywood Comedy Shorts Film Festival.
Well, I'm excited for that. I actually thought you were, because I thought I saw one like 16 years. It's been around a while, huh?
Yeah. So we do two things. So this is our sort of sister festival, if you will, Hollywood Comedy Shorts this weekend. But I'm the co-founder of Holly Shorts. So the Holly Shorts Film Festival has been in our 18th year now. So we're around 18 years, and then as also qualifying short film festival, we're one of the biggest short film festivals in the globe, and also the TCL Chinese Theater, and it's grown leaps and bounds since our initial start, 2004. So we've been at that a very long time, and during that course of time, we felt that comedy shorts needed a good push and love in Hollywood, and we thought it would be great to have a separate festival from Holly Shorts focusing only on comedy films. So that's when 7 years ago we started the Comedy Shorts Festival as well. So we do both. So I'm a co-founder of both festivals.
Got it. All right. So for those that want to check out all the info, I'm looking at your Facebook account at Holly Shorts Film Festival. You can check it out right now. But for people that want to go and get a ticket ahead of time, I know they can go in person, but it's always good to try to get advance tickets. Where would they go? What's the website?
Yeah. So for the Hollywood Comedy Shorts Fest, it's HollywoodComedyShortsFilmFest.com. So our website for Hollywood Comedy is the HollywoodComedyShortsFilmFest.com is our website, and there you can get the schedule, tickets, all the blocks of the different genres of comedy short films we have. Dark comedy, cringe, midnight-worthy, rom-com, web series, TV pilots, all the good stuff. So you can see the full schedule and pick sort of what you love or buy an all-access pass. But that's the website to find tickets for Hollywood Comedy Shorts this weekend. And then, of course, as you mentioned, we also have our Holly Shorts page, and that's HollyShorts.com for all things Holly Shorts.
Looking at it, great site, by the way, HollywoodComedyShortsFilmFest.com. You're doing a lot of good things. I see some of the selections there. Betterman looks really good. The poster looks great. And again, these are shorts, so don't expect a long, hour to 2 hour movie or even 3 hour movie. These are the ones that kind of hit, and then you kind of think, and you go, oh, and then on to the next one, right?
Yeah. So the runtime is 30 minutes or less for the Hollywood Comedy Shorts, so the films are are nothing longer than 30 minutes, and usually the longer ones are the TV pilot stuff, of course, and episodics. But a lot of the shorts and the comedies have 4 or 5 minute films, quick hitting comedies. So they're definitely, it's a block of films that are usually 2 hours, but within that is 10 to 12 to 15 shorts that are all really great and funny and all, in that shorter range of a few minutes to maybe 10, 15 minutes most. So they're all a little bit on the shorter side.
I see one that looks good. It says Ghosted. That looks really neat. What's that about? And how do you view all these like ahead of time? Do you have like a team that does? Do you have a selection party? What's going on?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. I do a heavy majority of watching. I'm sort of the big guy behind the show as far as watching films. That's my focus. Is I just love to watch everything and give it that attention and see and sort of program everything, right? But that said, we do have a team of folks that help review films and give us suggestions. So it can't all just do myself. You got a growing family over here. I got a lot of things going on, so it's hard to keep up. I'm going to watch thousands of films like I used to. But I oversee the process of what films we feel are best and what films we want to program in certain blocks. And so that's something I take on. But we do have a team of folks that help review and watch films and do recommendations in that process and say, okay, this would be good for this. And you take a look, and then I'll sort of confirm, and I'll say, yeah, I like this. Let's go ahead and program this, and so on and so forth.
Well, I'm going to say this. Congratulations, by the way, on the family. I was looking at some of your old photos, and I was like, wow, look at him and his daughter and, like, his lady. And, like, it takes a lot to do what you do every single year. And I know you got a good team over there, so I can only imagine. They love to support you. They love to support the family. At least you're a family man, and you're doing what you can do for the community of film. Because shorts actually sometimes don't get a... how do I say this? What I find people that usually do shorts, they usually do it because they want to get their story done, like in a small way. Some of them want a feature film out of it. Some of them want to just create. Some of them just want to pull a team together and say, hey, let's do something. And then some put a lot of thought into it. And then they put so many hours and so many days and so many, honestly, years just to get it done. Maybe they're a writer or a script writer and they want to get to like a producer that could put something together like this. But some of these don't even see the light of day when it comes to national or international distribution. So what is it that you could say about that? Because I know you've got some advice on that. I've seen some of your posts and I go, he knows something about making money with shorts, which a lot of people honestly do not.
Yeah. The short space has changed. I mean, again, since we mentioned Hollywood Shorts, we've done this 18 plus years. We've seen this change and evolution of what short films are and what they can be. It wasn't always this way, right? Like when we started the festival stuff in this world of festivals and shorts, our focus was short films. We wanted to support those filmmakers that are trying to get this stuff out there and make that happen, and really go for that. We didn't, being young, we were 24, we were just out of school. We wanted to make an impact there for those filmmakers. We felt shorts were the space where we had all these friends making films. We were making films. Hey, how do we get this stuff out there? What do we do with them when we're done? I was in film school. We're like, okay, what do we do now? We have a film. Now what? So that was the initial sort of start and reason. But back then, this was before YouTube. YouTube didn't exist back then. So the idea of what it is to get an audience globally, or at least put yourself out there in that way, was non-existent, and now it is. Now there's apps, platforms that focus on short films, and you can get your stuff out there and build up a huge audience, whether that's monetary or both, or views, or just if it's on YouTube and you post for free, but you have millions of people watching your film. Now your work's getting out there in a bigger way. Yeah. In part contributed by exposure at festivals and people paying attention to the festivals. It's opened the doors to now you can get money back for your film. You can get your film out there to a bigger way and get a big audience for your shorts. Not just focus on, okay, I have to make this feature. I have to do it the traditional way. You can make your own way with your short film in a new way, and not just focus on the old traditional sort of model of, okay, I have to make this way, or I have to become a feature filmmaker and to do something in the studio this way. You can do stuff, whether it's making a lot of films or making a name for yourself that way, or just really making a really impactful film that can go far into the Oscars, or whatever way you can do that, or just get on distribution platforms like Dust and Alter. We work with them closely, and they focus on genres like horror and things like that, and there's comedy platforms. So these are places where you can get these films out there and build up a big audience and get notoriety for your film as it is, not thinking about it has to be something else. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. You can really make that happen for yourself with these films. So it's great to shine a light on what we feel are the shorts that are in the best globally, and some of the most amazing and funny and interesting short films and well-made short films in the world, and give them a platform to showcase them for a really great audience. So excited to be a part of that. But yeah, we've seen that's changed a lot, and now there's a world here where you can really make some noise and do something with that. Whereas in the early years of this, it was not like that. It was, you make your thesis film, you try to get it out there. There's no distribution, there's no websites, there's not much of anything in that way.
Yeah.
So you can get film out there more than just any traditional way of just trying to get to a stepping stone.
Good point. Good point. And I've said that to a few short film filmmakers. Say, hey, put it on YouTube and promote the hay out of it. You know what I mean? Have all your actors, because she had big actors. She had like George Lopez. She had like from the Falcon movie. I can't remember the name of the film. But like, you know, really big top actors, and they were all in a short, less than, I think, 13, 14 minutes. I'm like, hey, promote that with your other short films. She's done like 3 total. I'm like, put them all together and then promote that as a viewing party or a review. You know, there's so many different ways to do it virtually. There's a lot of people in lockdown around the world, and there's sites that can go around the world. So why not get it seen, and or maybe do a nonprofit situation where, you know, a percentage of the sales go to something that you're talking about or you're promoting. Some of these are very, like, they make you think and they make you pay attention to things differently, and some of them are just fun, and some of them you can tell they're just passion projects, and some of them are just like a showcase for the ability of people, and then some of them have really big stars. I remember I went to one viewing of shorts, and not gonna lie, it was dealing with NBC, which I was like, how come NBC doesn't do broadcasting of distribution? Although they have, you know, their platform, so I don't know if they put any of these on them. But they were giving out awards, and they selected one which I was like was so awesome, and they had big actors in. I can't remember the names, not gonna lie, but I was like, it made me think differently. It was about what if Beethoven had not been born because his mother would have aborted him, right? And it was like, it was an interesting take on it, but it was shot very well, I think in France. And then it was kind of seen here in Hollywood. This was like, I don't know, years ago, maybe 6 years ago. And I was just like, wow, I had never been impressed by a short that way. But every now and then there are ones that come that way. And speaking of which, you have some really good ties with the community. I'm looking at your Facebook account, which again, I would recommend people go there and get the information. You can even get tickets right there. Holly Shorts is where it's at. Holly Shorts Film Festival. Look for that on Facebook. One of your top posts is about how people can get their film made through what is known as a short film fund. Can you explain that?
Yeah. So there's different. That's actually one of our sort of sponsors we collaborate with. Where they do contests where they give away grants to make your film. So if your script does the best and your script wins their contest, they give grants of $25,000, $50,000 to get your film made. And it's something we do with our screenplay contest as well. So that, again, on the Hollywood side, in Hollywood comedy, our screenplays are awarded with some prizes and stuff, but we don't have the same big prizes like we do with Hollywood Shorts. We have the winning screenplays get produced. So there's grants for $25,000 each, essentially. So in total, $50,000 for 2 different winners. That those monies are put aside to make the film. So we're continuously making short films every year from our winners, from our script winners from the writing contest. So these are exciting ways to. I tell everyone, like, these contests are great. Yeah, they're competitive, and yeah, it's not easy to win. And if you win, it means you're one script, one out of thousands of scripts essentially. But for those who win, their films are getting made. So now they're not having to hunt for money, not spend their own money, credit cards, whatever the case may be, finding investors, whatever that it may be, and may look like for you. Getting equipment from sponsors, getting the cash from the grant provider or the producer that's helping us with the prizes, and getting these films made. And now they're being screened at Holly Shorts in the future festivals later, and they go on to do very well. I mean, our 2019 screenplay winner, Desmond's Not Here Anymore is the title. That film we made in this past summer, 2021. It's gone on to do great things, and it's obviously premiered at Holly Shorts. And then it's gone on to screen at a number of festivals. It's screening coming up, the Pan-African Film Festival is coming week in L.A., so that's exciting. So it's screening there. It's just got some more selections coming up that I can't say yet. They're not live yet in the information. I can't say the names yet of their selections. But there's some more festivals coming up. So that film is now screening at least 10 to 15 festivals. So all from the screenwriter writing that script and sending it our way and winning the contest. And now we're able to make the film and get it produced and it's sort of birthed, if you will, and and now it's gone on to have a nice festival journey, and it's getting a lot of exposure and talking, and that's exciting. So there's ways to do that on the writing side, where you can win some of these contests and things like that, where you get grants and money to make your movie, so you can really push it forward to get sort of that goal or dream of that story being told and being made, and that experience that comes with that. So it's all like Shore Scripts is our. I think you saw on the post probably from Shore Scripts. That's one of the contests. We have our contest, the Holly Short Screenplay Contest. There's many like that, where you can write something and win something like that, and get your film made.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I love the fact that you're kind of bringing everything together. There are some festivals that just kind of promote, and then goodbye. They don't support the filmmaker per se. They kind of take the money and run, right? Because there is a submission process usually with certain films. With shorts, I know it's less, but I will say this: for any person who wants to be in film or do film or has a script in mind, this is a good way to get in front of people that actually want to see a film like this. And also, it's good, especially if it's in Hollywood. Certain festivals put you in contact with really top talent, because sometimes, and correct me if I'm wrong, sometimes you get the occasional like A-list celebrity coming down, right? Can you speak on that?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So that's been part of the growth and change I mentioned earlier. In our early years as we were growing, part of what helped us continue to grow the way we have with all of our festivals is that influence of Hollywood. We're in Hollywood. That's our focus of, okay, we're obviously trying to grow a brand, trying to get notoriety for ourselves, but also our filmmakers. It's a two-edged thing here. We want to do well. If we do well, filmmakers do well that are attending. They get a good showcase. They get a good audience. People are excited to be there and see their movies. So it's putting us a good spotlight, right? You don't want to put a bad spotlight or say, hey, look at the films we program, but no one really cares. You're like, well, okay, no one cares. It doesn't benefit anyone. So part of that process was, in the years as grown, we had some big names attending and start to pay notice. And whether we're starring in films, directing films, so the beauty of shorts is people want to make their own story, and you can tell your own story. You're not so tied to the feature film narrative of having to have that structure in that same way. You can do things more abstract. You can make a story, a 5-minute story about a sort of scene you think is interesting, and that's your film and that's your story, and you can make it and then get it out there. And so there are many directors who are actors turned directors, and big names who say, I want to direct, and I want to take my turn at this, and I don't want to wait for anyone to hire me or do something. I want to make this myself, and they do it. Yeah. So in that process of the growth of short films and that change of the whole landscape of shorts, we've seen a lot of that. So now we have, every year, there's many big names attending. We've had, our whole history, there's a lot of people, but I mean, can rattle off all these names, but Josh Brolin, Demi Moore, all these big names, David Lynch, all different big filmmakers and actors participating, whether attending with their films or just attending just to attend, or just having a film they directed or started. So it's been exciting. It's great, and that's the beauty of being in Hollywood. If our festival was somewhere else, you could have an impact that's really good. But for us, the Hollywood factor is big. We're in LA. We're in Hollywood. We can attract all these folks to come out and really bring them together. So to bridge the short filmmaker, and whether it's the student filmmaker or a filmmaker trying to push their way or make their way with their films and their style, and bring them together with all these amazing big-time talent and big-time industry executives in Hollywood.
Yeah, I will say again, there are very, how do I say this? There are some people that just do it for the fun of it. Others do it for the, honestly, just the love of it. And then others do it, honestly, I feel like just for the money of it. And you're not about that because, again, back to that particular thing, I mean, you're including an Arri camera. And anybody that knows Arri, I mean, that's top camera work, right? And those are expensive to like even just rent for a day, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, the focus has always been is trying to find the best way we can bring in cool sponsors, prizes, and things like that, to not only make it okay, cool, there's a good audience, or hey, you want to have a nice venue, a nice theater to watch the film. So it's also getting a screening quality for a filmmaker. You make a film, you're not going to go have the budget to go and say, I'm going to rent this theater out and do this. Very, very expensive. So sort of doing that for the service to the filmmakers, essentially, correct? So there's that part of it. But then not only is the venue quality to be good, and it's important to be good, then you have the next step of, okay, what can we try to offer as far as exposure, prizes, and things back? So that's part of that.
Yeah.
Panavision giving great grants. So we have Panavision giving great prizes, things like that. That is something you can use to now make your next film. And we see that all the time with many of our filmmakers. Obviously, if you're doing shorts, you're going to make another film. Yeah. You're going to make a short. You're going to make another a feature, TV show, or something else, and go on et cetera, et cetera. So that's always the name of this game. So if you have a prize, hey, I won that Holly Shorts and I won this camera prize. Now I can go ahead and take this camera and go make my next film. I have this idea I want to shoot. Now I have this gear that's worth $15,000. I have this now to make this. And there you go. So that's giving back in a way that's supporting.
Yeah.
The end goal be what the goal is. So that's something that we find very important. Yeah.
Well, and you get to see it in the theater. I mean, how cool is that? I know a lot of student films don't ever see the light of day. They just kind of are seen by the other students that are in film, right? I think of the LA Film Fest, not the LA Film Fest. There's one in LA that, what do I want to call them? There's the LA Film School, right? The LA Film School. I've been to their little premiere, and I've seen that because I was invited by the school. But I'm like, we have a lot of top, I know there's a New York Film Academy and there's others, but some learn by doing. But they have showcases if you're like a college student or you get your bachelor's in filmmaking, and then you hope that the person moves on and does something in film. But sometimes they don't. Sometimes they take another job. I'm like, why? When you got, the ability to do a short, right? You can get your people together. And I will say this. I saw this photo, and I thought I'd bring it up because I just see the happiness with you, your lady, and I'm assuming this is your daughter, the way you're with her. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure which photo you're looking at, but yeah, so I'm not exactly sure the photo you're looking at the moment, but yeah, I mean, I have 2 daughters and my wife, and yeah, we're always.
All right, so how old are your daughters? Because this one was taken in 2019, by the way.
Oh, that would just be with my one daughter. That was when she was probably 2. Yeah, so she's just 4.5 now, coming up on 5 soon. Yeah, so we got a little one that's 3-month-old and a 4.5-year-old. So youngins, still pretty young. Not as old as some of my brothers and friends who have their kids are a little more grown.
Well, the reason I bring this up is because very few people understand that family is involved in some of these things. Because sometimes you have what I call the single mentality, if you know what I mean. And when you have the single mentality in Hollywood, everybody's kind of looking for the hookup, you know what I mean? But some people are really in it for, honestly, like, hey, I got to put food on the table. I got to make sure this makes sense for my family. And some are filmmakers still with family. And a lot of people don't understand that. There are writers. There are people that I've met along the way that kind of are like all family, right? And so it's not all single is my point. And obviously you met your lady how?
Oh, in LA. In LA. We were actually just out at a restaurant, and I had a bar there as well. We came in and we made eye contact, and there you go. It was a more simple story, as elaborate, crazy as some stories people might have. But yeah, we hit it off, started talking, and here we are.
Well, I love it because I guess my point is this: she supports you, you support her, and you're a family man. And I love seeing photos like this because the moment I kind of Googled you, I'm like, hey, what is it about this guy? What does this guy do? I met a lot of film festival people, and sometimes they're not about the family, but you are, and I appreciate that. So if you are someone who wants to experience some fun, do so with this family. And I got a question on this. If one of your daughters says, hey, Dad, I want to be a filmmaker, what would be your recommendation to your little one?
Well, I'm gonna say, all right, you got to do this right. I'm gonna teach you how to do this. Let's make this happen.
Nice. You'll make it happen. I love it. All right, man. I want to say thank you for joining us again. For those that want to go check it out, what's the website again that they can get it at?
Yeah, so for tickets for this weekend for Hollywood Comedy Shorts, it's Hollywood Comedy Shorts Film Festival. I'm sorry, Hollywood Comedy Shorts Filmfest.com. Of course, we're on Facebook, Instagram as well, Hollywood Comedy Shorts on Instagram, Twitter. So all the social media platforms, and our website for tickets for this weekend is Hollywood Comedy Shorts Filmfest.com.
All right, I'm bringing up your Facebook account there since a lot of people are tuning on Facebook. Hollywood Comedy Shorts Festival is what it's at. You can check it out there. Thank you for the repost. We see you tweeting. Follow them on Twitter as well, and then go have fun and enjoy it. It's for the next few days, right?
Yeah. So today we're kicking it off with our filmmaker party, and then we have screenings all day tomorrow and Saturday. All day tomorrow and all day Saturday. We go noon to midnight. We're there at the Chinese Theater all day. So you want to see a certain kind of film. If you like rom-com, you like dark comedies, you like general comedies, web series, TV, horror comedy, all that stuff. We got kind of anything. We like to have a lot of genres of comedy covered. So we have lots of great films and Q&As with the filmmakers after, a red carpet, after party, all that good stuff. So yeah, it'll be 2 full days of nonstop comedy. So we love comedy films and short films, and come on down to Chinese Theater next 28th to 30th.
And let me throw this out there. It's the old. Whenever I hear whenever I say Chinese theater, people go, "Huh?" I go the old Grauman's Chinese Theater or Mann's Chinese Theater. It's been actually bought and then renamed, but that's the one, the big one where all the premieres are at. I mean, I think of like Christopher Reeve and all the big wigs always do their big premieres there. So that's the big area. I know it's not in the big main forum there, but it's in the same next to the Kodak Theater, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's right in that mix of Kodak, the quote unquote Grauman's, as you call it. Yeah, we always say the Grauman's. It's just what we, what you remember, right? What we call it, but it is TCL now. It's called TCL Chinese. But yeah, it's there upstairs in the sixplex with the screens there, the 6 screens. So it's the Grauman's big one downstairs, the TCL, and then the Chinese theater also has the 6 screens upstairs. So right above it is the rest of the screens. So they have the theaters there. They play all the different films and the festivals. And of course they have the big house.
And a red carpet, none like none other, right?
Yeah, we would love to have some good press there and good fun and good buzz at our red carpet show. Interviews with filmmakers, stuff like that. We want to provide that experience of fun, but also showcasing people, giving the spotlight to. This is the spotlight for these filmmakers. It's
all right.
Filmmakers is about these. So our folks that made the fest. So yeah.
All right, so thank you so much. We're out of time. That's our show. Again, go check it out. Have fun with it, and we'll see you again around the corner. Make it a good one, everyone. Bye-bye. And for those tuning in, we appreciate each and every one of you. We didn't get to our social media chats. Let's do our quick little chat to each and every one of you. Let's see. Rosalie tuning in says, Happy Friday Eve. Yeah. Ellie says, Happy Thursday, people. What are you doing this week? And I want to know. I have ideas. I'm thinking I may travel a little. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping to kind of head out and then have fun. We'll see what happens with that. Let's see. And if you have suggestions, let me know. All right. Rosalie says, so I've always wondered, why do the car makers make vehicles to go faster than the law allows? The only cars that should go over 80 are people and ambulance and fire department. Now, I'm going to say this, okay? You want a car to be able to go faster than it allows, because if there is an emergency, you want to be able to get there, right? I know. I agree, though, because some are like, but you don't want a car that only goes 80, you know what I mean? And they're more advanced than that. But I will say, I agree, there are ways to actually throttle it down. And I don't know if Lamborghini does this, because honestly, Lamborghini is more, I mean, it's expensive. The cheapest Lamborghini is probably a used Lamborghini, and even those go up in price because they're kind of known as vintage, and they're very expensive, right? But I know fuel is expensive, so I don't know, But again, I see kind of like what Jesse was saying. When you're a kid that gets everything handed to you, and you're not taught the and even kids that honestly don't have nice things, right? Sometimes don't get taught, hey, by the way, when you get behind a vehicle, you need to be responsible, because this is always the worst case scenario, okay? And I know this because there was a company, it was called Prepaid Legal, and I think they're still around, actually. And I said, what if this happens? Will you be prepared? Will you have an attorney be able to look up things for you? Will you have advice at any given moment? Who can you call in the event of a problem? And one of their examples was, what if you get in an accident and you end up killing someone? What if? Now, we know insurance usually takes care of normal accident, but what if you're seen as the bad one, right? Or the bad guy, right? What if you drink and now the person is dead because of it? What does that mean for you in prison time? Do you have the ability to have somebody at your or in your corner in order to help you out? The answer oftentimes is no. You have to go with a public defender, and you have to go with someone like Quick and Fast, and then you got to go through all that. But I like to kind of put this into people, and parents especially, to say, hey, use this as an example to your kids to say, this is why we wear seatbelts. This is why we drive responsibly. This is why we don't drink and drive. This is why we stay the speed limit. And this is why if I hand you the keys to the vehicle, then you're going to do the right thing all the time. Otherwise, I'm going to take it away from you, right? So the fact that this kid got multiple citations, I don't know if, again, and I've gotten tickets. I mean, my mom was with me once, and she didn't even know we were going fast. And, it was on a straightaway, and it was in Arizona on the way back from Arizona to California. It was one of those empty roadways. It was completely empty. There was no one around. And then all of a sudden, pew, somebody behind me. I'm like, oh, man. And I had to pay that ticket down, right? And, I had to experience that. But again, that's also why she always goes, you're going too fast. I go, no, I'm actually going speed limit. But it was in a vehicle that went fast and you didn't even feel it, all right? So I will say to manufacturers, keep doing the right thing, but there are some vehicles, I don't think Lamborghini is one of them. I know like there's a Charger that does that, and you can set it up for anyone, pre-designated so that it only goes to a certain speed. So there are vehicles that do that, all right? But I don't know any one person that wants it that way for themselves. But for a teen who is learning how to drive, the fact that he needed a permit kind of states that he was technically not licensed, right? He had a learner's permit, so that's even worse. So I put that kind of on the family to say, hey, what were you thinking? Because, and trust me, I get it. I know it. I've been there, when you're like with a family member who actually like, they kind of do what they want. You're like, hello, other family member, can you talk to the family member to do the right thing, to not drive alone? Because that happens, right? And, or, they take the little one, driving, and you're like, that doesn't qualify as 25 and over. So there's ones that kind of get around it, but they go, no, I'm just driving locally. And I go, all right, but what if? It's always one of those cases that if it happens like this, right, that's going to happen. So you usually don't want that to happen, and most people get away with it, but they don't, see, something bad happen like this. But again, that lady, again, very young, and sad that this happened to her, because it just is one of those things that probably definitely could have been avoided, right? And that's why now we're seeing the repercussion of it financially. But again, the family's paying into it. But my question is, when you just do a little bit of time, do you learn your lesson, or do you pick up the wheel again and just say, all right, well, that was my parents' money, not my money, and then do it again? Which I would say yes is going to happen. I hope it doesn't. But this young lady, her life taken away from her from a speeding vehicle of whatever he was speeding at, can do a lot of damage, not just to him, but to her as well. And it did to her and her family, and she's not alive to tell the tale. Was she having fun that night? I don't know. Was she going somewhere, or was she picking up a child? Was she, what is her story? I don't know. And no one knows anymore, right? And that story is, honestly, anyone and everyone, right? You could be the victim of one of these. So I say drive safely, drive carefully, and be aware of what happens around you, okay? Because these things happen all of a sudden, and then the whole family goes, what? You get a call, and you go, what? And then you don't know what happened, and then you get the details, and you go, what? And then you find out it's a needless, careless act by a teenager that could have been, honestly, it could have been prevented. I don't know what insurance situation they came into that they couldn't get it taken care of. I don't know if they were like, well, we don't know whose fault it was, or this or that or the other. But the fact that they went at, and this is a huge, huge, huge settlement deal of $18 million. I know they went at this family because they had the money, so it was a smart attorney, whoever did that. But a lot of people don't have the money, right? So do they suffer from it? Yeah. Do they have more than that? Probably. But will it give a lesson to them? I hope so. I don't know what they're worth. I don't know who the family is. I haven't done the research on that. I just got it because Jesse brought it up. But again, these are the things that happen. So back to you, Rose Litzy. He says, I know even going 80 down a residential street is murder waiting to happen, but it would avoid car chases on highways. I think you mean to go like 30 or 35 or 60, yeah, max. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, because certain. Well, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I went cross country to Texas about a month or so ago, and it hit, I think 80. I think it was at 80, yeah. And I go, whoa, 80 is way too fast for trucks. They didn't have anyone's like said, hey, slow down if you're a truck 55 and under, right? Because trucks, you don't want speeding and barreling down 80. I was going 80 going to Texas on a straightaway, but the trucks were going 80 as well. And I'm like, what if something happens to one of those trucks? I was scared. And then I saw a lot of police enforcement pulling over vehicles, but the signage wasn't there. So I'd be like, well, the signage wasn't there. You don't have anybody to remind anybody. But you should kind of go the way it should be. But I think some truckers just, they haul. You know what I mean? They want to get to where they got to go, but they don't think about the repercussions. What if a tire blows out? What if there's something on the road? What if, another vehicle kind of swerves? What if the wind picks up heavily, which in certain areas it was really windy going to Texas. But my point is these things can happen really quick and fast. And you're right. But going cross country, again, if you go travel, I know people usually take the travel route wherever they want to go. Some go west, some go east, some go north, some go south. Wherever you go, do it safely, and then make sure to watch everywhere, right? And if you can, have one of those camera dash cams. I've got one for the vehicle. It sees inside and outside. They have one where you can actually, I haven't hooked it up yet, but you can also put it in the tail behind you. And you'd be surprised. There are some accidents that happen. You didn't see it coming, and then you look at the footage, you go, whoa, I remember seeing one ahead of me, and then another one as well. Yeah, two actually ahead of me, and I wasn't involved. I was like, whoa. So, be careful out there is my point, and don't let this happen to you or your family, all right? But yeah, I agree, Rosalie. It's something that people should be looking out for. Raul Ignacio Zaragoza, thank you for tuning in. Ophelia Zuniga, tuning in. Thank you, Ophelia. Paul Miller tuning in. We appreciate you. Eugenia Kirsten, who's in Georgia, says, awesome Thursday, a beautiful weekend. I am visiting with my first grandkid, baby boy. Oh, that is cute. Awesome. Sandra Santiago says, happy Thursday. We love you, Sandra. Good job over there. I think Sandra actually, Sandra, you should actually check out Sandra. Sandra's got some interesting stuff in her corner. Actually, let me see if I can bring her up. We're going to stalk her a little because I know she'll appreciate it. Sandra Santiago is a one that I think will want to definitely go to this Holly Shorts Film Festival. We actually were kind of breaking bread the other day, and with her PR team, and she is one who knows film and has been in film and knows what it means to be independent, right? So I'm going to bring up her page here. Hopefully it doesn't slow everything down. Actually, I probably will, so I'm not going to bring it up that way. But let me see what I can promote of yours. Go check her out. She's tuning in right now with Sandra Santiago again. It looks like you went to a Sue Wong event. Awesome. I've been to a Sue Wong event. I haven't been to one of her events recently. Her events are awesome, by the way. If you don't know I'll bring this up. This is a good picture. If you haven't been to a Sue Wong event and you don't know Sue Wong fashion, go check it out. She does some really nice, amazing stuff. And usually, if you get to go to an event of hers, it's an interesting time because like the place that she's at is like really, really, really just like got lots of history. I think some of the big wigs have even been there. But yeah, all right. So I'm trying to bring up Sandra's picture there. There she is. You can find her on social media. Go find and friend her. A great lady. Does a lot of stuff for people and just really good all around fun woman. She does a lot of good fun stuff, and she posts about it on her Facebook, and she's just fun. But I met with the PR team that she had because I was invited to a comedy event, and then we all met up. I've seen her on social media. I know we've been friends on social media for quite some time, and then recently we had some fun just with dinner, and then just actually talking scripts, and then talking about film, and then talking about what next for the community of people that enjoy film. And if you think about film and you go, oh, I don't really like film, you think about the top 3 movies you've ever seen that you love. There you go. That's a film, right? There is no film that no one's seen that they don't love, at least that they've watched at least 3 times or more, right? Think about that. Then okay, film is important, right? And then some you learn from film, all right? Some you have memories of, and some you actually have memories with other people, like your family, maybe, your kids. Like, I know I was recommending to one lady, I said, hey, what's the last film you saw with your son? She's like, man, he's always so busy. I'm like, well, not. All right. And then I said, what film does he love? And he's 20, by the way, or 21 coming up. And I said, what does he love, like Avengers and stuff like that? She goes, yeah, but, I'm like, don't have that attitude. Have fun attitude. Go and have fun with your son, right? And say, hey, want to go see the next movie coming out? And then you don't even need to know anything about it. Just watch it. It's about the time, because then you don't just watch the movie. You invite your son, especially if they're older, and you get them food after, right? And then you just find out what's in their life, and it's a casual environment, so you're not probing them, right? Because sometimes kids feel like you're probing them, right? So don't probe them, right? But just have fun with them, and then you open the lines of communication. They find out about your life, you find out about their life, and then because one day they're gonna go away, and you're gonna be like, shoot. So spend it while you have it, right? In this case, they live together. So, that's a good thing. So never live in a home and not know what your family are doing around, whatever in life, right? Never be dismissive with them. Don't take them for granted, because one day they're going to get married, they're going to move out, and they're going to go bye-bye, right? And you're like, wait, it went so fast. Yeah, exactly. So don't take it for granted. That's what I say to people. Just don't take it for granted. Stephanie Reed says, that's how my sister was. She always got everything handed to her. She wanted to go to Florida for school. Mom always handed her money and handed her everything while I helped my mom out, who was going through a divorce at the time at work, and helped my grandma. Yeah. I like how you said that's how your sister was. Hopefully she's better. And sometimes this happens in families, right? You kind of, give it to the kid, and they kind of, so hopefully it doesn't happen for long, right? There you go. Yeah. Let's see. Algenia says, Agape amigos, have a peaceful and charming day. Be sweet, awesome. It says, don't give up and endure the days ahead. Agape forever. Now, we'll say this, and I didn't get really share earlier that I'm going to share right now. The flu virus that Jesse talked about is one that I do kind of want to talk about, because evidently it's coming up again. Okay, now this is different than coronavirus. All right, so the one that he brought up, he heard on a news article. Okay, and it is news. Okay, and the reason I brought it up, I kind of skimmed it. If you're just joining us and you don't know that particular portion, he said, why is it that everything comes up in China? And I kind of gave the answer. Then we had to take a break because we had to get ready for our next guest. But what happened recently was something my mom and I were talking about, because a family friend said that they were sick. All of them were sick, all three of them, right? And evidently live at home with their son, right? Who's older. He's older. And in that moment, he's like, well, we're still recovering from a flu virus, right? And I'm like, okay. So my mom and I were like, is it the coronavirus? Is it the flu? What is it? This one just kind of got out about this particular strain, H3N8, but I think the timing is odd. I don't think this one is that one, if that makes sense. But the avian flu is around the U.S. Okay, we've discussed it. We haven't discussed it at length, but we've discussed it. Okay, and it could be transmitted just like this. Now, let's say this kid that was at a poultry farm or knows chickens, right? The chickens got it from a chicken, right, or a bird, right? It's kind of like a bunch of people hanging out with other people, and then you get a, cold, right? We'll just go with that, or a flu, right? Now, the problem with mutated flus is they're a little bit more stronger, okay? I'm not saying you're going to die from it, but they're not fun, okay? Now, once it jumps from a bird to a human, then it can mutate again and again and again, and that's the problem, okay? That's what you guys have to pay attention to. Now, usually, when that comes up in the area, they kill the chickens. There is no way to save it, because they don't want to continue spreading, and it gets bad for the chicken, obviously. But it gets bad for human, and how it gets bad for human is it mutates. Okay, so that kid gets on a flight with a bunch of other people, and now it spreads from human to human contact. Right? That's how viruses spread, and that's how viruses mutate. Okay, that's the problem with coronavirus. Right? So the reason I bring this up about my, our family friend, which I've known ever since I was a kid, including their son, he was in the hospital. So I'm like, well, how long was he in the hospital, right? So of course my red flag and her red flag goes, was it coronavirus? Was it something else? Is the flu here? And I say, I don't know yet. I don't know. It's a little late for flu season, not gonna lie, because November, December, and January is usually flu season. But if it is flu, it may be avian flu, right? Avian flu or aviary flu is a thing that can happen at any given time. And it starts with the bird, okay? And when the bird hangs out with a person, guess what? Person gets it, he gets on a flight, boom, it's spread again and again and again. And honestly, you usually have to get ahead of that by having a vaccine for or a flu strain kind of analysis. Then you go, okay, this is the one that we're going to put in the next series of flu shots, right? So that would probably be in the one in November, right? They'll probably include that in it just to be safe, along with the other ones that they have, right? So do I recommend that one? I don't know. It's too early to tell. But my point is this. If it gets you sick enough to be in the hospital, then we got more problems. Because if that one, let's say you get that one combined with some coronavirus, just a little bit of alpha, right? Does it mutate? The answer is yes. So does it get worse from there? The answer is yes. And then, it just you get where I'm going with this. So don't get coronavirus. And if you get the flu and you get well from it, good job. But don't get coronavirus and then mix it up together. Sometimes or I think some people, I guess not all people, yeah, I don't think you do, but some people actually just think once you get one virus, you don't get another virus. Like they go, well, I have a cold, so I'm not going to get the flu. I'm like, you don't get it. You can still get both. That's all things, so don't spread it. Yay. All right. And coronavirus is one of those spread very easily. So don't be safe. That's what Jesse actually said. I think he said before the show. He goes, I'm appreciative of face masks, and I was like, good job. So that about H3N8 is a situation, and there's other ones, H1N1, H1N2, H1N3, blah blah blah. So if you start hearing that this day, just know it did become aware in China. All right, they announced it because they confirmed it. As far as the child, I don't know if the child's fine. Okay, there's a lot of information on this. Sorry, I'm just looking at it right now. Yeah, there's certain... there's a lot of info here. I mean, it goes back to 2020, not going to lie. But this particular strain is a new strain. That I think that's the answer to this one. H3N8 is a new strain. Okay, yeah, and that's how they whenever you think of aviary flu, it's usually, I don't even know how to answer that because there's also flu strains that are not in this number system. But because now it's in human. There you go. Yeah, that's what it is. It's the first known human case of the H3N8 avian flu. But you want to get ahead of that because again, that mixed in. Let's say the kid had coronavirus and then had this, and then it would be a mutation, and that would be like OM8 or something like that. You don't want OM8, trust me. All right, so I hope that helps. I hope you guys got that information. I hope you remember life is worth living, live it well, and do good, and then be aware that there are other stuff out there, not just coronavirus. And I have to say this. Oh, God. It's a sad day in Hollywood as well. A good friend, Yosara Yanaro, I just saw, or I would call her Josara Gennaro, and she was a friend. Talk about theater, and she's been battling and fighting cancer. I'm not gonna lie, I thought she was gonna fight it. She's been on our show. She promoted it in 2020. She helped kind of get the word out about her project that she was doing with others. She was always one to champion, and she's the voice of so many voices as well. She did a lot of voiceover acting, and sweet lady. I'm gonna bring up the Facebook account because her husband posted this. Okay, and I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I've done a project with her with Whitefire Theater, which is actually in Hollywood area, right? And they're awesome. They're just so good there. But she's been fighting this, and now I'm trying to see the post. Where is the post at? Here she has multiple accounts. I'm following every single one of them. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. So she was on our show, and I forgot to mention it to Jesse. So I'm just gonna do a little this because I'm not gonna lie. She got married, and I was happy she got married because it's one of those you don't want to see this happen. And this one that I'm showing is with her healthy. Okay, I'm not going to show what she had to deal with. And I sent her a message, and I said, hey, why don't we do this? And she's like, yeah, anytime. And now I'm just like, it's not, because, I don't know how expensive treatment was for cancer, but this is her hubby, this is her kids, and he posted this. I'm going to try not to lie. Sorry, I'm going to try not to. I'm going to try not to cry. And I don't want to lie. This is one of those that I don't even want to share right now because it's very reading this sucks. It says, with great sorrow, I announce the passing of my wife. This is the husband posting this on her Facebook account. Some of you probably follow her. It says, Josara Gennaro on this date, which was yesterday, April 27th, 2022. It says, Josara bravely fought cancer and came home to be surrounded by family. Josara was an amazing wife, mother, artist, and friend. She had the most beautiful, kind soul and wouldn't take no for an answer. That's true. I know that for a fact. She got people to do things they would never thought they would have done. It says, even in her last moment, she was still fighting. She is now resting in peace and will be remembered forever. Myself, Liam, and Amory's will miss her so deeply, although we know she is in our hearts and guiding us every step of the way. Public memorial service will be held in the Bay Area. More details will come soon. I guarantee every single person who has ever been a friend of hers will be there. It's a situation that when you see these things happen, you say, why so young? Which I say, cancer sucks. Cancer should not be around. Cancer, we gotta get a cure, people. This is ridiculous. She fought hard. She fought it. She fought it. And I'm not gonna lie, I was like, okay, we can do something really good, and we can get you, ahead of this, and we can raise monies and this and this and that. And unfortunately, no. So that's the news. It sucks. It sucks. I'm not gonna lie. And she did some big things. Okay, if you want to know, and I remember talking to her. We were talking about voice acting, and she kind of gave me some suggestions. I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. She did theater, so those that are theater friends know that. She was in Go For It. She was a dancer, by the way, very smart. She was in World Trade Center. Some parts are, not big parts, just, good, fun parts, right? She was a working actress, is my point. She was in East Los High. I know her East Los High family will say, whoa, what happened? If you haven't seen that, that's on Hulu, by the way. That was an original. We had a lot of friends from that show because they were kind of new on it. But she did a lot of production behind the scenes, too. She stayed busy, always. Now, I know when she got married, she was 100% in it to win it with the family, right? And you can see her and her sons in that picture. It's like, oh god, or her children, sorry. But she's done a lot of things, right? And she used to do background voice acting too, right? And I was like, oh, that's interesting. In fact, it says she got credit for Transformers: Rise of the Beast. That's the next one coming out. Her voice is in the ADR Loop Group, so I'm looking at her IMDb. Otherwise, I wouldn't know. But she's done other actress stuff too. Birds of Prey. She was a voice actress for that. Messiah, the TV series, that if you haven't seen it, it's actually really good. Runaways. She was a voice actress for that. She did a lot of voice acting, and she has just a great voice. She was in Coco as one of the voices, again, background voices as well. She would always say, no, don't promote it because I was just a voice in the background. I'm like, all right, whatever. She was very humble that way. Some people are not. Once they make like a little moment or a cameo, they're like, oh, I'm in it. And you're like, that was a cameo. That wasn't, But she was always like, no. She's like, so I'm like, all right. And then I remember this one, Happy Feet. She's one of the voices in Happy Feet. And Happy Feet, memory coming back on that one. That was the one with the little penguins. They're all like, yay, right? She was one of the voices, Happy Feet. Yeah, that's kind of when I met her around that time. And I'm like, wow, that's awesome. She was like in there with voices like Elijah Wood, Brittany Murphy, Hugh Jackman. So yeah, I guess my point is this. Know that when these things happen, you do the best you can, right? You do the best you can. And know, like I say, when you have your family, have your family. This is the family. This is them. And I know he's suffering. I know the kids are suffering. I know because she'd post about her time with her kids on her personal page, not her fan page. So yeah, young woman taken too soon. Very young. Very young. So yeah, it's sad when you know people like this dying. But anyway, you gotta move, right? You gotta do. And as she would say, probably, I'm not sure 100%. She would probably say, you know what? You gotta get up and you gotta move and you gotta do what you gotta do and you gotta get to the next whatever you're gonna do. And she would say, pursue what you love, and no matter how hard it is, keep doing what you can do with it. And in essence, she'd say, just move forward no matter what. Yeah, I guarantee that's what she probably told her son. All right, people. With that, we'll see you later. Have a good one.